Hi, I'm Ave, and welcome back to Complaining. No. I'm not here to complain about anything like being in an underrepresented minority group or anything of actual, genuine substance. However, I am part of a group that is often left behind in many facets of life. The young professional. I'm a young office worker at my second place of employment, working a relatively entry-level position. There are plenty of other people in situations just like me. Here in Australia, we have 1.3 million university students, 72% of which will find full-time employment within just 4 months of completing their course. In spite of this massive number, there is little representation across any form of scripted media of young professionals trying to make it in the business world. There are many instances of established professionals across Western screen media as both the premises for and the stars of numerous different shows, movies, and other aspects of screen media. This includes shows like The Office, Mad Men, Parks and Rec, and 24. Yes, I'm counting 24. No, I haven't seen more than 4 episodes of the show, but from what I understand, Jack Bauer is someone who's desperately in need of a holiday. Beyond premises of shows, there are characters that do have their career as large parts of their day-to-day life. Characters like Ted Mosby, an architect and protagonist of How I Met Your Mother, Liz Lemon, a TV writer and protagonist of 30 Rock, and Walter White, a teacher/meth cook, all have their profession as a large part of their identity on their respective shows. However, none of these characters are young, dumb, and full of desire to get screwed over by corporate Australia. Until now. Salaryman's Club was a breath of fresh air, and I want to use this video to both sing its praises and contrast this with my life as a young professional. This anime focuses on the Sunlight Beverage Company and the members of its badminton team. As a former failed high school rower, I'm somewhat of an athlete myself. And so myself and protagonist Mikoto, a former high school badminton top prospect, have a lot in common. Another association that Mikoto and I have is that we were both fired from our first office jobs after about a year working there. Then if you throw in the third parallel, that being we work on opposite sides of the same industry. He works in sales and I work in retail buying. All of these elements combine to making me feel like this is someone that actually shares a lot of similar situations. Stop asking how I got fired! Mikoto and I have a professional and personal Venn diagram that equates to basically being one circle. Salaryman Club follows the aforementioned Mikoto, a meek and barely competent office worker making a new professional start. He's working in Tokyo for a beverage company. Recently fired from his bank job, as a result of poor badminton performance, Mikoto has been recruited to join the Sunlight Beverage Company, also known as SunBev. The main reason for his recruitment is his talent for badminton. And despite the poor results that just got him fired, SunBev think that they can fix him. The way that SunBev think they can fix Mikoto is simple. By doing what every single star of badminton wants to do. Joining a doubles team. Wait, joining a doubles team? Over the course of this excellently scored and drawn 12-episode run, the SunBev badminton team aim to do one thing. Restore glory to the company both inside and outside the elementary school gyms that they train in. Mikoto's main story beats, anime KPIs if you will, are simple. On the badminton court, conquer his mental demons that have been terrorizing him for the past few years. And off the court, succeed with his proposal for green onion ginger beer. He's paired with Tatsuru, a mentor on and off the court, because not only is he Mikito's badminton partner, but he's also his sales partner. Tatsuru, a party animal with a penchant for client relations and a mean overhead smash, is the funny man of the pair. Filling out the lineup both professionally and sportingly are a wide range of characters. We get the Seiki brothers, Sota and Toya. Toya is a school friend of Mikito's and is often considered one of the weaker members of the team. Toya is a school friend of Mikito's, and while he's one of the weaker players on the team, despite his young age, he's already a very valuable member to the SunBev planning team. This shows an immediate contrast between those personality or sporting hires and those that are working to further their professional development. Toya is also valuable to the plot, as he also knows what Mikito's dark secret is from when they were playing badminton together at school. Sota is initially the top singles player in the team, occupying the role that Mikito wants to fill, while also being a key member of the quality assurance team at SunBev. Koki Takeda is the final member of the initial SunBev badminton team lineup. However, he has a massive issue that occupies both his personal and professional lives. His performance anxiety is what limits him, both as a badminton player and as a worker. And this is one of the key obstacles overcome across Season 1. The plot's elephant in the room is something I addressed while introducing Best Twink, Toya. Mikito went to high school with Toya, and as they were on the same team, Toya got to witness the one event that changed Mikito's love of badminton forever. While playing doubles, Mikito was paired with a less skilled but more full of heart partner, Azuma Tachibana. While playing a game during their last year of school, Mikito and Azuma were losing a game and they were doing everything that they could to salvage a result. In a last-ditch effort to stop a shuttlecock from going over his head, Mikito runs back, leaping, swinging the racket above his head. And just like that, he didn't see Azuma behind him, knocking him to the ground. This incident leads to Azuma losing the ability to play badminton, seemingly ending his career. Racked by guilt, a distraught Mikito tries to apologize, goes to Azuma's house, but outside he hears discussions. It's other members of the badminton team. They're maligning him, calling him a coward for leaving his partner out on his own. That's it. The final emotional nail in the coffin. At this point, Mikito now is unable to hit any sort of shot above his head. It costs him match after match after match. And eventually, it costs him his job. But now, he has a second chance, both professionally and on the court. Plotline and characters aside, the thing that resonated with me most was the thematic focus put on what it's like to be a young employee trying to find your feet at a new job. Direct points of emphasis and in turn resonance included making friends in the workplace, overcoming anxiety surrounding and making one's first presentations, and the overwhelming just get it done attitude that's so consistently enforced on young workers by their superiors. This is not going to be a video that breaks down the plot in detail beyond my outline, and I would strongly recommend watching this great short anime. Instead, I want to focus on the outlined points, as I think that for young people entering the workplace, this is what is important in Salaryman's Club. Making friends in the workplace is one of the toughest things that I've gone through over the past 2 years of having an office job. And while Mikito has an inbuilt support system from day one, as he went to school with the Seikis, I had no one that I knew when I joined an office for the first time. his support system extends beyond his teammates. SunBev, like many Japanese businesses, provides lodging for its staff, and the work culture in both the show and Japan generally states that after work, most of the evening is either spent partying or dining with both superiors and colleagues. This means Mikoto knows his colleagues much better socially than he otherwise would. Some people are lucky enough to have grad programs at their work, where they're lumped in with a class of people to link and build with. However, being dropped into an office without that is difficult. I was on a team as a 21-year-old who barely knew how to use Excel with people that were my parents' age, and I found relating to my coworkers horrifically difficult. My sense of humor would often be missed and I would feel constantly alienated. And it got to the point where I literally looked up different ways to bond with colleagues on WikiHow. I'm of the opinion that as much as there is an issue with a lack of media supporting young office workers, the real problem is the lack of support we have to make friends. Here's my proposal to you, global big business. Let entry-level workers hang out with each other. We understand that among large companies, the overwhelming sentiment is to silo people into their teams and hyper-specify them to the point that any new job is difficult to pick up. Let us spend time with each other. Pay for our lunches to hang out, make provisions to get young people out of the office on time, and facilitate their interactions with other people working the same role by removing the barriers you have put between teams. Most likely, it's these workers that have just started their jobs that need the most help both learning and improving. So let us work with each other. I'm a commercial expert. Listen to me. In addition to tackling social issues within the workplace, I'm also here to speak on something that most people in the workplace detest: public speaking. In Salaryman Club, one of my favorite subplots is that surrounding a multi-stage proposal for the upcoming SunBev product, green, onion, ginger, beer, Mikoto, the proposer of this product, needs to prepare documents that would involve sales numbers as supplied by the planning team, an understanding of the target audience prepared by the sales team, how the QA team will be able to test all elements of the product, packaging ideas, and how this item fits within the current offering from SunBev. Mikoto and members across all teams are given significant scope to present this information to members of the business's executives. The badminton team all serve different roles in this series of presentations, ranging from preparing the pitch deck to contacting suppliers for the manufacturing of bottles and best margin for the ingredients. Among these moving parts, Koki needs to make a presentation. Initially nervous and reserved both before badminton games and the presentation, this is his time to shine. His poor badminton performance of late already had his self-confidence in the pits. And in the lead up to his presentation about the sales projections, he's absolutely trembling. However, all is not lost. In one of the only horny moments of this show, Takeda flashes back to the end of his last match, something that was a real turning point for him. He pictured everyone in the room naked. And just like in his match, this works. He cackles to himself in a way that, if I'm being particular, would really alienate him to his target audience, given his standing in the company as a subordinate. But then he pulls out a performance of a lifetime. In this presentation, Takeda does a great job at showcasing coping mechanisms that may help overcome the nerves often associated with an appearance at the head of the table. While unconventional, picturing people naked is popular and effective, along with controlled breathing, visualization, and dressing for success for years. Imagining your audience in the nude has been an accepted and widespread step towards better speech making. While I'm sparsely in a position to make speeches, I understand the importance of it for my professional upwards mobility. We, the undersigned entry-level employees, are so rarely put in a position to practice our public speaking that it's harmful to us if we do get the opportunity for a promotion internally or we go for a higher position outside of our current place of employment. Working in an industry that relies on the presentation of sales data weekly to convey information and takeaways from the week has shown me that it would be a great forum to give people a shot at making these presentations. I would massively value a chance to cut my teeth in some low-stakes presentations, but the problem is young people aren't given the ball. Or in this case, the shuttlecock. I loved the aforementioned subplot in Salaryman's Club, and there are a lot of ways that this can be actioned in businesses for people like me, if we're given the chance. However, I believe that the biggest issue glorified in both the anime and in real life is an expectation to get the job done at all costs. There are a lot of instances in which characters fall asleep at their desks, feel and say that they are overworked, and are driven to the brink of their own mental health. This is a sentiment that is unfortunately shared with the real world. The time that Mikoto fell asleep at his desk, that matches up really well with the time that I spent 40 hours working across just 3 days, where the most time off I had was when I was going to and from the office. There was a point at which the members of the Green Onion Ginger Beer prep team moved heaven and earth while working with a rival company to bring sugar to the beverage factory. And that's cool and all, but let those MFers work a half day, move the event, and have a crack later on. Wealth is built on exploitation. Overwork has been a part of work since the dawn of capitalism, and that's not ending anytime soon. Globally, there are instances of exploitation that you can see in front of you, mainly performed by some of the biggest businesses that the world has ever seen. The only feedback I want to give global big businesses is this: give us a 4-day work week. Ultimately, I sit here understanding that I have mainly done one thing: complain. And while that's not entirely what I intended to do, I think it represents a lot of the sentiment of both the young characters in the show and young people in the real workforce. We aren't represented, whether it be having a seat at the political table, in our standings at work, or in the media that we consume. Salaryman Club is a great step in the right direction for us to at least feel like there's one piece of media to represent young people. And this is something that we need more of, something that there's such a tiny response to. The show addresses numerous issues that are on the forefront of the young professional's work life. Socially, in its focus on the characters' lives outside work and making friends. Furthermore, 2 pivotal professional aspects are key thematic focuses: overcoming the anxiety surrounding one's first presentations and the prevailing do-it-at-all-costs attitude that pervades many entry-level workers' day-to-day lives. There are only a few reviews for this show that talk about a lot of the representation I've been praising, and I hope this isn't going to dissuade more shows that could have a slightly older cast instead of just another group of middle school students. I loved watching other people in their early 20s do the same things I do in the same settings I find myself in while working in similar conditions to the ones in which I work. This show is awesome. Young people are underrepresented in media, and I can't wait to watch more.